Good morning and welcome everybody once again to Adventures in Digital Marketing. This is my daily show where I come in here and talk to you guys about what's going on and what I'm doing, documenting my own journey and talking to you guys about the things that I'm working on, the things that I'm learning. That way, ultimately, hopefully, we can help each other, right? The whole idea here is to build connections and to help each other get to where we're trying to go and do the things that we are trying to do. So if we haven't met before, my name is Rob Orr and I'm a web designer and developer. I'm obsessed with digital marketing, and my thing is I help businesses to do business better online. And there's a lot of different things that go into that: web design, web development, technology, integrations, APIs, apps, the whole nine yards. That's what my business does, but that's not really what I wanted to get in here and talk about this morning. I just want to let you know a little about who I am and what I do. So I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about the one thing that overcomes basically any obstacle. So this is a really big deal for me, and I think it's something that some people think about, but they don't think about it enough. So I wanted to come in here and talk a bit about this morning. So before I jump in though, if you are with me live, I would really appreciate it. Hit me up with a hashtag live below. If you are watching on the replay, please hit me up with a hashtag replay. I want to know where you guys are watching from and making sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. And I'm just checking some stuff over here on my computer to make sure everything is working right. So anyway, this is the trick, right? This is the key that is more important than any tactic or strategy that you may learn. And it's simply this: when your why is big enough, then you can overcome any obstacle that's in your way. And what I mean by that is this: there has to be a really strong and driving reason for you to be doing the things that you're doing to push through the rough spots. And I wanted to bring that up because here's what I see. So right now, I am going through the One Funnel Away Challenge with a group of people. There's about 5,000 that I think are going through this challenge, which is absolutely insane when you start to put the numbers together. It's mind blowing. The stuff that's going on and the way that ClickFunnels is making money and the affiliates that are making money. It's just absolutely insane. But there's a division. There's 80% of the people are never going to finish it. They're going to quit. And then there's 20% that are going to finish the challenge and are going to do something with it. And then even inside that 20%, there's a 80% of those people that are going to have nominal success. And then there's 20% that are going to really just crush it. And I think the reason though is the people that are really going to crush it are the ones that have the strongest why, meaning that they're going to persist through absolutely anything that happens to help them get to, or, just to make their way through what it is that they're trying to do. And, what happens though, a lot of times is people sign up for stuff like this and then they don't do the work. And the reason for that is they're not connecting their why to the thing that they're doing. So, the thing about OFA is that you get taught, there's a ton of amazing teaching. I'm still trying to catch up with some of the things that I need to do, but there's a ton of amazing teaching that you're getting live right now from Russell Brunson that's happening every single day. But the thing is that people run into barriers, right? When you are doing these things, you're going to run into a wall. Like, you're going to struggle trying to create your flagship framework. You're going to struggle trying to figure out what your core results are. You're going to struggle trying to figure out how to do videos and how to do the different parts of all of the things that you need to do to to get from point A to point B to point C. That was, Steve Larson was talking about that on the lesson that he gave over last weekend, is that all you got to do is just take the next step. But what's happening is that people are hitting resistance and they're stopping. And when you stop, then all of your momentum just comes crashing down. Then it's much easier to not take the next step. Then it's much easier to miss the next live teaching session. And it will just continue to snowball until ultimately you quit the program altogether, and then you don't end up getting anything out of it, and you're talking, oh, I'm going to go back and revisit the lessons and all that sort of stuff, but everybody else in the class has already moved on to other stuff. So the point of the matter is this: you have to go into this stuff. And it's not just the One Funnel Away Challenge. It can be starting your own business, or it can be, starting a new exercise routine or a new reading habit or whatever it is. The why behind the reason that you're doing that is more important than anything else. Because, and I've seen this, I've actually had conversations with people that are struggling when they're talking about these things, is they're struggling keeping up with the routine. Like, one of the challenges that Russell presented in the first version of the One Funnel Away Challenge was to go and to publish every single day. And for a lot of people, that was just like a non-starter. There's no way on earth that I'm going to do this. And for me, the first time I went through OFA, that was my reaction. I'm like, there's no way I can create like that. There's no way that I can spend this much time and effort doing this stuff. And so I dismissed it. But, one of the things that he said is that, and actually Steve Larson talked about it in the coaching session from the first version of OFA, was that if you do this, then you'll never have to worry about traffic again. And so I started to put it together. I'm like, if I can figure out a way to make myself do this thing every single day in some way, then I'm going to be able to continue to build momentum and grow things. So, for me, what happens with that is, my commitment to my why, right, is what pushed me past that point. And here's one thing I think that, and it may be on your mind, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but one of the things that I see is that people, feel, Russell talks a lot about this call to contribution. Like, once you've mastered your framework, once you've figured out your solution for how you can help somebody else go and get some kind of result, then you feel this call to contribution, right? And I think that is an absolutely important thing, but it's not the only thing. One of the things I think that you have to incorporate into your why for doing these things is to prove something to yourself, right? That's one of the things for me, is my motivation for doing the things that I'm doing is so that I can prove to myself that I can take this next step in my business. I've been very successful in my online business over the years that I've been doing it. I've made a lot of money in doing my online business, doing web design and development, and I have no shortage of things to chalk up to accomplishments there. But the thing is that what's more important than that is being able to elevate. And for me, it's a matter of proving something to myself that I can do this. And I think that could be something that for many people that are going through this challenge is, that can be enough motivation for you to get you through. Figure, kind of get that chip on your shoulder to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to prove to myself that I can actually do this, and then I'm going to make something happen out of this, and let that be part of the fuel that powers your why, right? So another aspect of that for my why, for why I'm doing this, is I want to get out of debt. We've got a lot of debt. We've been through some really rough patches in our life. And, my wife and I have been married for 17 years now. And we've had some great times and we've had some really freaking hard times. And, we've got debt. We want to not only get out of debt, but we want to build financial independence. So in order to do that, I've got to keep taking that next step on the ladder. And so I'm trying in the things that I'm doing to prove to myself that I can continue to, to ascend this ladder of being successful with the things that I'm trying to do. So, being debt free, is something that's really important to me. It's one of the things that I write down in my notebook every day, that, we're debt free and financially independent. It's one of my goals that I write down every day. And, and that's what powers me. So when I get stuck, I look at the challenge that's in front of me for something that maybe I don't know how to do or I'm not real good at. I end up, I remind myself of why I'm doing this. And yes, I have a call to contribution myself. I want to help other people get the results that I've had, in my business with the success and the things that I've done. But I also want to prove to myself that I can do these things. So it's a big time motivation for me to continue to push through and then to show, my audience of people that I'm talking to that, hey, look, if I can do it, you can do it too, and that's one of the things that I think that I relate to Russell and to Steve Larson and a couple of the other people in the ClickFunnels community. And I'm like, man, if they can do it, and hearing their stories and the things that they've overcome, then I can do it too. And it's really inspiring. So then I have the responsibility on myself now to go and to make something happen and to prove to myself that I can do these things. So I get motivated. I get inspired. I find a new breath of fresh air and energy that will help me continue to push through when stuff gets hard, because this stuff, guys, listen, it's not easy. Building an online business is not easy stuff. And there's going to be lots of challenges. I know I've run into so many. I've hit so many obstacles and so many walls. But I continue to show up. I continue to push through, because my why for the reasons that I'm doing this is because for my family, to prove something to myself, to contribute and to be, somebody who's making a contribution to the world. All of those things continue to push me to break through to the next level and continue to grow in my own success and personal development. Steve Larson talked about that too, that, that starting your own business is the greatest self-development course that was ever devised, because you learn more about yourself and your character, your shortcomings, and the things that you need to refine and to grow in order to get to the level of success that you want to get. So that's my thought for this morning. So if you're struggling, think about your why, figure out what your why is. And if you're still struggling after you write down your why, then you got to go back to the drawing board, because your why isn't big enough. Your why, when it is big enough, will overcome any obstacle. And you have to fan into flame that motivation, and that inspiration to continue to push through when things get tough. So anyway, that's what I got. For those of you that have been with me live, I really appreciate it. John and Tariq, thank you so much for being with me live. It really means a lot that you guys take a minute to hop in here with me and listen to me kind of rant on these thoughts and ideas. But if you're watching this on the replay, hit me up with a hashtag replay. If you've got a comment or a question or a thought, please hit me up in the comments below. I want to hear about it. And if you want to catch other episodes, you can go to my website at roborr.net, where all of these episodes are cataloged as a podcast. Then they go also out to my YouTube channel as well. So you can find this content, and go back through it if you want to see some of the stuff that we've covered in the past. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later.